I think one of the biggest mistakes people make is believing they have to choose between two extremes. For example, either you're obsessed with success or you're lazy. Either you're constantly working or you don't want it badly enough. I don't think that is true, at least not in 2026. In fact, I think nowadays you don't have to work the longest and burn yourself out to win. You will win if you can sustain excellence the longest, right? And the World Health Organization refers to burnout in 3 ways. And one of them is feelings of energy depletion or exhaustion. And most founders are dealing with that today. I've dealt with it myself for so long, so this is what I'll say, and this is the biggest takeaway that I want you to carry from this video. Stop letting this pressure of working 20 hours, 18 hours a day and barely sleeping get into you. Burnout is not a crown of glory. I genuinely believe that as long as you keep showing up, you will win eventually. Let's take YouTube for example. I had this channel where I showed up 3 times every week for a few months, then I left it. Meanwhile, my friends were posting just once a week, but they kept showing up even long after I had quit. Today, they have the numbers, they've built big brands. So you see, I was such in a rush to win that I ended up burning myself out and losing out anyway. Burnout affects performance, and that's something that you need to keep reminding yourself, especially if you're highly ambitious. It makes you worse at that thing that you're trying to become great at. One of the biggest things I'm also learning this year, especially as a founder, is to redefine my productivity. I'm walking away from thinking that productivity is how many hours did I work today. Nowadays I'm more of, did the work that I did today move my life forward? And you've probably noticed that I've been making a lot of videos about rest. That is because I'm realizing that rest and recovery, or rather rest and recharging, are part of performance. If I don't rest enough, things won't go well in either of my businesses. And as a highly ambitious person, I'm also learning that happiness that does not suddenly arrive after I have achieved a milestone. Sometimes I get so focused on the results that I forget that the journey is where I should be investing most of my energy and emotions. So my friend, if you're waiting to reach certain milestones, if you're waiting to hit 6 figures so that you will allow yourself to rest or to be happy, it might never happen. Learn to live in the present. The destination, the results keep on moving. The other thing we can talk about is the Pareto principle. I know most of you know this, the 80-20 rule, right? It suggests that 80% of outcomes come from 20% of efforts. That tells me that not every task deserves the same amount of energy. And I told you in a previous video how I used to want to be everything in my business, until I realized that all those efforts were only slowing the business down. So identify what matters most in your business or whatever you're building and prioritize, or rather focus on that. Every other thing will fall into place. Another thing you can work on as a highly ambitious person to avoid burnout is to work on your environment. According to the 2025 Gallup State of Global Workplace report, employees who feel engaged at work report significantly better well-being than those who are disengaged. This report also shows that managers and work environments play a major role in stress and engagement. If you apply that to our lives, it simply means that ambition grows faster when the environment is supporting it. So deal with the chaos around you, move to places, or rather create environments that encourage you to grow. For example, Have you ever noticed that you can move to some areas, right, to some apartments, and you get motivated so much that your life changes almost instantly, that you feel the urge to grow, right? And you can also move to some places and you just get comfortable, right? Nothing is in a rush. That is how important an environment is. I've also stopped glorifying being busy. Sometimes I just work for 2 hours in a day and leave the rest of my calendar empty. And I know that coming from a recovering workaholic is a lot. But it's necessary for my growth. I'm protecting my energy the same way I'm protecting my money. Because my energy is what will create the money. Yeah, and not just mine, even my employees. I've realized that when they are tired, they are exhausted, they can't offer the best customer service or support to my clients, and eventually that affects the business and the money, right? So recently I started creating more flexible schedules for them and more motivation for them. And yeah, I'm just a girl who's just becoming more conscious about everything. And maybe that is the biggest lesson I'm learning. I don't want success that only lasts until I'm exhausted. I want success that feels meaningful even after 20 years. Longevity. I told you I'm on the road to build generational wealth, right? And I think that is it. Yeah? Creating businesses that we run, healthy businesses that we run long after you're gone. Creating businesses that your children and their children can take over and learn and run, so that they're not starting from scratch. So if you're highly ambitious or you want to be ambitious, I encourage you to measure your success by sustainability. Look at your life right now and ask yourself, is the way I'm living today how I want to be living 5 years from now? If the answer is no, change your ways. The goal is to stay healthy enough, focused enough, curious enough, disciplined enough to still be building long after everyone has burnt out. Because that is where success is at, right? Adios.